Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 6:31 PM, and a quorum of members is present, so the meeting of the Board of Education of the School District of New Berlin is called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Crosby?
Here.
Mr. Helmer?
Here.
Ms. Konick?
Here.
Mr. Kurth?
Here.
Ms. Schultz?
Here.
Mr. Seidel?
Here.
Ms. Spindler?
Here.
I would entertain a motion to recess to closed session.
I move to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Section 19.851C E and F of the Wisconsin statutes to consider A, the approval of closed session minutes of March 11th, B, the employment, performance, and compensation matters pertaining to staff.
Second.
I have a-
Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, go one more.
Hold on, one more. Oh, sorry, it's on the bottom, I didn't see it. And approve transportation agreement as agreement recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Mr. Helmer. Please call the roll.
Mr. Kurth?
Yes.
Mr. Helmer?
Yes.
Ms. Crosby?
Yes.
Ms. Konick?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Mr. Seidel?
Yes.
Ms. Spindler?
Yes.
We are moving into closed session and we'll return to open session around 7 o'clock. It is now 7:05, and we are returning from closed session into open session. In recognition of the serious and important nature of our efforts here, we will join in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. For all those who are able, please rise. And now for those who wish to prepare for the meeting, we will have a moment of silence. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education. Prior to this meeting, notice was given to the public last Friday by providing the agenda to the city library. The agenda was also posted on the district website. A copy of the agenda was forwarded to the Journal-Sentinel, the Waukesha Freeman, and the Waukesha Now, all of which have filed requests for all public notices. We're going to begin this evening with a special recognition for Jeffrey Kurth, our outgoing board member. This will be his last meeting with us. Since joining the Board of Education in 2012, Jeffrey has played a valuable role in shaping the New Berlin School District's success story. His 12 years of dedication has been essential in propelling our district to the top ranks, not only in southeastern Wisconsin, but across the state. Throughout his tenure, Jeffrey's commitment to fostering academic excellence has remained constant. He has served not only as a board member, but also as vice president, and most recently clerk for the past 4 years. His steady presence and support for sound decision-making were valuable assets during the board's navigation of challenges and celebration of milestones. Jeffrey's legacy of service will continue to impact our schools for years to come. We extend our sincere gratitude for his unwavering dedication to our students, families, and staff. We wish him all the best in his future pursuits. Thank you. And we have a special here. That's to commemorate your years on the board.
Thanks, everybody. All right, I prepared something. You ready? Hold on. Wait. Let me summarize. Thanks.
No way.
Short and sweet. Thanks, everyone.
Sure. Can you get it pictures later or something? Do we have anybody this evening for privilege of the floor?
No.
Okay. I do not have a president's message, so we'll move into the administrative team reports. What? You want to start with Poplar Creek, or? Yes. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Sebneski, and I'm very fortunate to be the principal at Poplar Creek Elementary School. Joined with me tonight is Jennifer Tarosian, our associate principal, and our PC parent. Yes. Yeah, right. She's going to prepare on the spot. One of our very involved PTO members too. But a nice surprise. Thank you so much for being here. So we get a chance to kind of celebrate all things Poplar Creek for the first 3 quarters of the school year. And we always start with the district overarching goal of increasing student performance and kind of what that looks like at the building level, how it aligns to our mission. And then that trickles down to the district literacy goal, which is the long-term goal for proficiency on the Forward exam, which we are right in the middle of all the testing.
Yeah, so with our district literacy goal, In our focus on Forward, one thing we really wanted to push this year was having our students not only aware of their own data, but also the school's data, and having them really invested in it and having that feeling of ownership. So one new thing we have around the hallways in Poplar Creek is a lot of data. And of course, it's posted in sort of a fun and pretty way with a little bit of friendly competition as well. So as you can see, we've got the overall class Forward scores from last year, and then the blank boards for this year with all of the kids knowing where they were last year and kind of setting some full group goals on where they want to get to this year. This is a picture of a presentation that we gave in preparation to the Forward to all of the kids, 3rd through 8th grade, and we did it individually by grade. And this is where we went over all of the data and talked about everything. And this is not the first time we've had these presentations, so most of the kids kind of knew what they were coming to, but also had a lot of fun with it. Maybe a little bit of candy involved, maybe some donuts. But just a way to get the kids really pumped up, excited, and understanding exactly what the Forward exam is and why it is so important for them and for all of us. And then our amazing PTO, thank you very much, have gotten really involved in Forward preparations as well. So as you can see here, they got together and they made some really cool creative posters that they posted on every single classroom that was going to have testing, as well as brought in snacks. And I think another really big thing, here's some more posters, is just having parents talk about the Forward exam at home with their kids and with each other, so that kids know that this is, it's a good thing, it's an exciting thing. We're talking about it at school, we're talking about it at home, and we know what we need to do when we get to school.
So the Forward exam is one measure. This is the district goal, long-term goal for the achievement on FastBridge. Oh, so another assessment that obviously we've talked a lot about. But that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a culture of assessment. So whether it's a unit test even in your classroom, or something a little bit more, universal screener like FastBridge, or even more high stakes like Forward exam, what do you do to prepare to take a test? How can we teach you to take a test? And what are the strategies? How are we celebrating that? How are we goal setting? We met with, as Jenny said, we met with grade level teams, but we also met with individual kids, like here's how you did last year, here's how you've been doing so far this year, and really kind of dove into that data by individual student as well. So we'll get to some of these results in a minute, but this is FastBridge.
Yeah, so this is just another example of how we are covering the walls in data this year. And so this is of our FastBridge goals. So again, back to the friendly competition. Each grade has their little Cody the Coyote. The star is where they were at in the fall, and then Cody's going to move each time they take a new test. And it was pretty cool when testing was finished, FastBridge testing was finished, as kids would walk through the hallways. Oh man, look how much 3rd grade moved. Oh man, we have to catch up. So they're just really getting invested in it, which has been fun to see. This is the exact same data, but just in a little bit of a different format. And this again is in an area of the school where every single student will walk past it. In fact, they're standing in the lunch line. So if they want to do a little deep data dive while they're waiting for their lunch, then it's right there for them.
All right, so the district goals align to our school action plan goals. So let's dive into some of that data now. Areas of strength and areas of growth, of course, as you'll see. But this is our reading school action plan. And so this is not a cohort group, but you can see winter to winter data at each grade level. So this is K1, 2, kindergarten and first will be early reading, proficiency on the FastBridge. Sorry, this is proficiency on the FastBridge for early reading. And then 2nd grade is CBM, and that's the words read correct per minute, which you've heard us talk about a lot. So that's the CBM. This is winter to winter for 3rd grade. And we obviously we're hyper-focused on 3rd grade kind of these last couple of years. And so you can see how 3rd graders have done winter to winter. This is A reading, and then CBM, again, words per minute. Okay, still with reading, this is the cohort group, so 3rd grade to 4th. And then 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, this is winter to winter at the same grade level. This is the auto reading. Okay, and then A reading, so 2nd through 6th grade take A reading. So again, winter to winter comparison by grade level. And then the second school action plan goal is math. And so we have some math FastBridge data. This is the percent of students proficient on these FastBridge tests. So this is 3rd grade, not a cohort, A math and auto math. This is the cohort, winter to winter, 3rd to 4th grade. Okay, this is another cohort, so 3rd to 4th. This is the math automaticity. As we go through these, you're seeing, I'm sure areas of growth, of course, as you can kind of see from year to year, but then obviously some really great growth that we've had as well. All right, so math, early math for KN1, and then math automaticity for 2nd grade. Not a cohort. So you're seeing how, kindergartners have performed each winter, 1st grade each winter, 2nd grade each winter. Typically, of course, they're different kids, but gives us an idea of where we are at as a school and how we are with our instruction. Areas for growth, and then, of course, areas of strength. All right, math automaticity. Not a cohort, winter to winter at these different grade levels. And then A math, second through 6th grade, A math, winter to winter. Of course, we'll answer, any questions about certain pieces you've, dove a little deeper into. If we could answer those questions for you at the end, of course, and go back if we need to.
So kind of summing up the data part of our presentation, we have been incredibly proud of the growth on the state report card, and we want our students to feel that as well. We want them to be just as proud as all of we are of them. And so this is also blasted all over our halls, well, on our monitors in the halls. And we celebrate with this with the kids, and we kind of had an unveiling and picture a room full of kids clapping and getting super excited. And again, back to that friendly competition, wanting to keep growing and growing. So they know what this means, 3rd through 6th grade, which is pretty cool. And then here is just another way that we show it. And again, this is a bulletin board we've had for a couple of years, I suppose, maybe 3 years now, where they're actually watching it, and each year they come to school, we continue adding to it so that they can see all of the great work that they've done as well. Okay, so the 3rd objective for our school action plan is social emotional learning. So obviously the most important thing to us is that our at-risk students, we're decreasing that number, and we are reflecting and reacting to all of the data we see using our SABRS and MySABRS screeners. And we also take a lot of time making sure that our staff are feeling good as well. Pardon my keys. So we just want to share our top areas that are going well from our staff survey. So team, curriculum resources, workload management, leadership, and culture. And then our top areas to improve: communication, special education, pay, professional learning, and no comment. So that's a big one. Just kind of to show an example of some of the ways that we respond to the staff resilience data, or I'm sorry, the surveys. We have a staff resilience team, and this team, again, we've had for a few years, and they also look at the results of our quarterly surveys that we give, and they're able to respond to that as well. And one thing that they have done this year that has been a really fun addition, they started this website. It's sort of like a little private social media for all of us at Poplar Creek called One Good Thing. And so the point is to highlight all of the good things that are happening day to day that maybe not everyone sees because maybe it's happening in individual classrooms, things like that. And so staff are sharing pictures and sharing stories and sharing wins. And I think it's especially great if someone's having a rough day, they can kind of just scroll through and see all the great things that are taking place.
All right, so the district overarching goal of developing relationships and partnerships in the community, we want to kind of highlight what that looked like this year at our school. So our largest fundraiser of the year, the Creek Crawl, took place in the fall. We raised over $40,000 for that, which is amazing. Last couple of years, it's been that much. Our parent group was amazing, and our community has been amazing with that. We partnered with all the elementary school, all the schools in the district for the food drive and Kindness Week. Partners with the food pantry for that. Other Kindness Week activities, every link of that chain is an act of kindness that kids did. So those are our third graders holding up the kindness chain. Sixth graders took the Kindness Week a little different direction. They would write kind of notes to each other, inspirational notes. Be a Cindy Lou Who, don't be a Grinch, things like that are on there. And then kids could take one, they could take one if they needed it, or they could give one if they wanted. John, in there, him and his family every year, along with a couple staff members, donate candy to veterans right after Halloween. Our PE teachers, as they do at every building, have gotten families to come in for family PE week. Great connection to the health, moves minds. Kindness Tree during the winter, we had Toys for Tots. We had a Change Challenge, and we raised money for the New Berlin Police Department's Canine Unit. Also part of a big Grinch Week theme, having the Grinch's heart grow 3 times, raising money for Max, things like that. And then we'll just kind of finish with this. So the district goals, trickle down to our mission and vision, and of course, ultimately our beliefs. And one of our staff beliefs that we added a couple years ago was let's always start with why not or why can't we? And so when a few staff members came to us this year and said, well, can we start a Best Buddies chapter at Poplar Creek? Mostly something club you see typically at the high school, kind of said, why not? So those staff members figured out how to connect with the Best Buddies program, and then we've had multiple events with, students with disability needs and typically developing students hanging out together, sharing commonalities, and really, enjoying each other's company with these different activities. And then, so anytime staff say, we'd like to try something, why not? And then definitely when the students say something. So when the group of 4th graders come in and they're like, Mr. S, Mrs. T, we need to save the turtles. We're like, I don't know what that means. But they, let's do it. Let's do it. So it was, we want to write the mayor. We want to get this petition where, we change recycling in our community, or we, figure out how to clean the beaches, and can we buy equipment? Like, okay, hang on, think big, but start small. So this was, announcements on the morning show. This was signs in the hallway, and then kids would go to their classroom at the end of every day, and they would hand out pamphlets and flyers about, saving endangered species. And, obviously they focused on turtles, but it was like, where do plastic straws end up and all these things. So they've met many recesses to put this together. And again, why not? Why wouldn't we let kids kind of run with an idea that they had? And so that was just, Save the Turtles. If you need any information, they have many flyers and pamphlets for you. Come out, stop by in room 107 at the end of the day. But yeah, that's what we wanted to share with you this evening. We always put up our all-school picture every year. But yeah, if you want to dive into any slides, or if you have any just general questions, we're here from now. Thanks for having us here.
Are there any questions?
Hearing none.
Ben,
Oh, sorry.
well, I was just going to say,
Yeah, go ahead.
I thank you for all you do. I mean, everything that you guys have in this presentation, what you're doing to bring these kids together and think of outside the box of keeping them as a community, and it has been outstanding. It's just really fun to watch your presentations and see all the little activities that you guys have going on. It's excellent. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
All right, then, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for your time on the board, too. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. We are doubling up on presentations, so the nice part about us having to miss a meeting in March right before spring break is that we now had to just move a secondary presentation. So Ronald Reagan is up and Adam, and we're ready to roll.
Hi, everybody. We'll get this show on the road because I know everybody's excited to watch basketball tonight. So we will make sure we that's what I've been told. Sports ball is what I call it. So I've been told there's a basketball game. So I'm sure other people would like to watch that this evening. I'm Angela Patterson. I'm the proud principal at Ronald Reagan.
And I'm Matt Stick. I am the proud associate principal at Ronald Reagan as well.
All right, and we are excited to share a little bit about what we've been up to at Ronald Reagan. So very similar slides and kind of overarching themes as what you saw with Poplar Creek. So some of these will kind of buzz through because you've seen them once already. So sticking again with the mission of the school district, that is overarching over everything that we do. And then again, that long-range district literacy goal is a constant target that we're aiming for with our data work and the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. And part of that, again, is the district action step of looking at our FastBridge early reading and CBM data, as well as our A-reading data, increasing those in order to achieve that overarching forward goal.
And then at the building level, by the end of this school year, 60% of our students will be, our goal is to have 60% of our students at the proficient or advanced proficient level on the Wisconsin Forward ELA portion of the exam. That would represent a 3% increase from last year. And then similar to our district action steps, we have sub-goals connected to our overarching forward goal. That includes grade band and grade level goals connected to our FastBridge screener.
And similar to what Poplar Creek was doing, we're also increasing, this is something we've talked about it as an elementary admin team as well, is that we're all working to increase that culture of assessment with all of our buildings. And that includes, again, sharing that data with our staff. Our staff are living in data all the time, but also being transparent with our data with our students. And so just like Poplar Creek, and the other buildings, we met with every single grade level to share this data with them and to get them hyped up. And there was music playing, and we didn't have donuts. Sorry, Poplar Creek. So I apologize to the Reagan students on behalf. Poplar Creek's going to provide them donuts next year, is what I was told. So we did meet with all of them and did some student goal setting with them. So we were very transparent with their data of what that looked like over the last few years, and hearing kind of the groans or the celebrations within the room of like, oh, well, what happened? Oh, what is that? And then each grade level set what they think they can achieve on these goals for this year on the forward exam of being proficient and advanced. And we also decided on some rewards that they could receive in the fall when they stay with us at Ronald Reagan, or what we could send to Ike or West when they meet these goals in the fall. And some of our grade levels also took it one step further. So this is our fourth grade team. Fourth grade is a really big year for Forward, as you know. They take all 4 assessments. And so our fourth grade team went on a Super Mario Forward frenzy and dressed as various Mario characters, and the entire fourth grade pod was decked out in Mario themed. They have power-ups. They have Mario-themed tokens for great test-taking behavior. This is an example of the Power Up acronym that they go over with their students before they take their test. Each of these stands for great test-taking strategies, and then they're passing out Power Up stars that kids can earn as they reflect on how they did on the test. So this is an example of what the W stands for. They coined it working the strategies, talking a lot about those positive test-taking strategies and how to make sure that they're bringing their best to everything that they do. And then they even set their own forward power-up goals, which decorate that board out in the hallway along with their goal of what they're hoping to achieve as a grade level.
All right, and then in addition to our academic goals, we are also continuing to monitor various other data points. Our annual family and student survey data remains consistently high. Our goal this year is to sustain that success, and we've targeted supporting the social, emotional, and mental health needs of our students, particularly in our family newsletters. Continuing with the work of our staff survey results from last spring, we're targeting staff culture and overall climate We've seen significant gains over the last few years. Things that we're doing to support that goal include monitoring our staff-led quarterly survey data, and our teacher-led school culture and climate leadership team holds monthly coffee talks where staff get together and brainstorm ideas. And then also we are holding a book study with our staff using the book Culturize by Jimmy Casas. And then moving on to reading assessment data.
Oh, that was me. Sorry. Again, very similar slide setups to what you saw with Poplar Creek, so we'll kind of buzz through these, but again, I know you've seen this data, you're familiar with this data. If you have questions or want to revisit anything, please do let us know at the end. This is the early reading and for K1 and the CBM, which is the fluency assessment in second grade for the last few winters, not cohort data. This then is the third grade A reading, which is that overarching reading assessment, and then the CBM, again, that fluency assessment for just third grade over the last few winters.
All right, and then this slide shows the percent of students that are proficient on the FastBridge A reading in third through fourth grades. This is a cohort comparison. And this slide shows the percent of students at or above benchmark in fourth through sixth grades on auto reading. And this shows the percent of students at or above benchmark on A reading. And then shifting gears to math assessment data.
Okay, similar to our reading data slides, these are going to be in a pretty similar order. This is our early math assessment, which is given to K1, as well as the math automaticity test, which starts in second grade, just showing the last few winters of those. Again, not a cohort data. And then this is the third grade comparison of A math, which is that overarching math assessment that covers lots of different computation skills, and then the math automaticity, again, their fact fluency with that, just for third grade over the last few winters. And then looking at our winter FastBridge A math, so this is a cohort data point. This is third to fourth grade over the last few winters. And then the automaticity for third to fourth grade. Again, this is cohort data over the last few winters for the fact fluency.
All right, and then this slide shows the percent of students at or above benchmark in grades 4 through 6, and this would be for math automaticity. And this would be the percent of students at or above benchmark in grades 2 through 6, and that would be on A math. And then moving on from data, we want to share some highlights of day-to-day life at Ronald Reagan Elementary. So our staff continue to learn and implement the new CKLA ELA curriculum. The engaging knowledge units tie nicely to our culminating projects across many grade levels. A few that we want to highlight tonight are our medical professional day in first grade, which connected to the learning of various human body systems. In third grade, we studied various Greek gods and goddesses. That culminated with the students creating a wax museum where students came to life as various Greek gods and goddesses that they studied. And then in fourth grade, they got to create inventions during a Eureka unit. And then lastly, in kindergarten, they were able to come up with, study kings and queens and royal life throughout history, and that culminated with a really cute formal ball at the end of the unit.
This week, we also kicked off our 4th annual all-school read. So we continue our focus on literacy by connecting our families as often as possible. So this week we started with the classic Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So we're very excited about that. We'll culminate that with a family event in May, which you're all invited to for our family literacy night. There will even be a sweet treat truck outside that will be supporting our wonderful family literacy night in case anybody wants to come get a sweet treat. We also continued our annual tradition of having our night before the first day of school bedtime story. This year, we read the book When You Are Brave, which talked about how we all sometimes have to be brave when things are scary or hard, and how we can dig deep and find that strength within ourselves. And sometimes even starting the first day of school can be scary, and so we sometimes have to be brave. And also, our HSA hosts 2 in-person book fairs, one of which will coincide with our Family Literacy Night in case you're interested in coming to get some books. All of the funds raised help put additional books in our teachers' classrooms, as well as other HSA-funded events.
All right, and then connecting to our goals for social emotional learning and culture, we worked in many ways to support students and staff. Each quarter, we hold monthly assemblies where students come together and learn about different character traits such as respect, responsibility, and resilience. We have the opportunity to learn from high school athletes and club members about what those traits mean to them. We celebrate with fun games like the Minute to Win It game shown on the picture above. And we also set goals for the upcoming quarter. Students that exemplify those goals and traits are nominated by their teachers and earn a t-shirt like the yellow t-shirt that is shown as well. And then we also have community partnerships that support our goals. We continue to partner with Integrative Psych, Growing Minds, and Care Solace. These great resources help us support the social, emotional, and mental health needs of our students and staff. And then another new addition this year is a focus on behaviors. We took our existing white eagle feather system and then added a special yellow eagle feather. Those feathers are given out based on specific focus for each month. So we focused in the past on things like the playground, the lunchroom, hallways, specials, and even our intervention blocks. Students that were selected each month received brag tags for their backpacks and then had their pictures taken like on this slide, and that would go on a bulletin board near our cafeteria. And then lastly, we had positive phone calls home to families as well to celebrate those achievements. And then our Building Social Emotional Leaderships team also hosted 2 kindness events, one in November connected to World Kindness Day, and then another in February connected to Random Acts of Kindness Day. This year, we collected donations from multiple organizations and encouraged students to show kindness at home and at school with daily challenges, and the students even set kindness goals.
Other ways that our Reagan Gives Back program supports the community includes our Veterans Day fundraiser for the Wisconsin Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. We host an annual blood drive, and this year, Reagan Gives Back also hosted a sucker sale to give back to the Angelman Syndrome Foundation in honor of our graduating 6th grader, Chase, who can be seen up there. He's adorable.
All right, and then some other amazing community partnerships include our partnership with Junior Achievement. They host our 5th graders each and every year for their annual BizTown field trip, where students take on various community jobs, earn money, and even learn about financial literacy. This year, we also continued our partnerships with the New Berlin Police Department. They held a shop with the cop around the holidays to support families in need. And then, of course, they always support our 5th grade DARE learning each and every year. And then we've also had support from the Christmas Clearinghouse to support families in need as well. And then lastly, we do want to highlight the amazing work of the New Berlin Education Foundation. Their teacher grants have funded some amazing things. Like this year, they funded ukuleles for our music department. So that has been, yeah, very fun to hear. And they continue to support and then also we want to acknowledge our HSA for investing some of their savings into our school and to support our school in future ways as well.
Speaking of our home and school, they continue to do amazing things for our building and our school community. This year, we held our annual fun run similar to the Creek Crawl at Poplar Creek. We raised over $50,000. Other events that they've hosted this year include the trunk or treat in October, the Someone Special Dance in February. They had a first ever Pazingo event, which was pizza and bingo, in March. And this month they're hosting Bren Bataclan. He's going to be our artist in residence this year, and he's going to be creating a mural with student input that will hang in our schools. They also have some other great things coming up, like the spring dance, our staff and student lunch raffle, and then, of course, the 4th of July Festival, which always is a highlight of the summer in conjunction with the Education Foundation. And finally, we want to highlight some of the other amazing opportunities that Reagan students have. Not only are our students strong academically, but they're also strong in character, and they're incredibly talented. If you haven't seen some of these performances, we highly recommend that you come check them out. We have many teacher-led and community-led extracurricular activities, choir, talent show, band and orchestra during the school day, and then some various concerts throughout the year. Mindful Movement, which is a yoga and mindfulness group that meets on Fridays with students and parents. Battle of the Books in 3rd through 6th grade, Art Club Spanish, various levels of scouts, and then we also have many different sports teams that use our facilities and partner with us. And finally, we want to end with our amazing student council. This is truly work for kids, led by kids. And this year, they once again raised money for the Milwaukee County Zoo's Adopt an Animal program. They've raised thousands of dollars over the last few years for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in honor of late Reagan teacher Peter Michaud. They've collected hundreds of pounds of Pop-Tops for the Ronald McDonald House. They were integral in the food drive competition that was held in the fall, which we'll get them next year. Don't worry, we'll get Sunny Slope next year. And then, of course, the Kindness Weeks, an anti-bullying poster contest, our annual door decorating contest in December, Valentine's Day sales, which help raise money for new playground equipment, and more. So our students, community, and staff continue to amaze us each and every day. And we hope our presentation tonight highlights some of the many ways that they live out our Eagle values in and out of the classroom. And that's what we have for you tonight. Questions?
Anyone? Okay, thank you.
Jeff's got the microphone. I don't know what he's doing.
Nice job.
Oh,
Thank
now
you
you-
for everything.
Oh,
guys-
thank you.
Yeah, once again, I saved it for talking to people individually. I know, I'm just hogging a mic today. But, yeah, Ronald, because both my kids went through Ronald Reagan. I taught both my daughters how to drive a little bit in your parking lot.
I'm
so-
sure many parents have. It's a good one to do donuts in.
Yeah, so you guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service, too.
I'll defer my update, and then we'll go right into the student representative update. Claire could not be here today, so she provided a video update on her behalf.
Hi everyone, hope everyone is well. I am unable to come to the school board meeting tonight, but I still want to give my update, so I will be doing it virtually tonight. Students are working hard as they have returned from spring break last week. Last week was also National Assistant Principals Week. Students and teachers appreciate and give thanks to all our assistant principals. I want to give a special thank you to Mr. Gemignani and Mrs. Springer for all that they do for our school. Currently, Eisenhower class of 2024 students have the ability to apply for the Prospect Lions of New Berlin Scholarship. There's 3 $1,000 scholarships available. Students have until May 4th to apply. Senior dinner dance tickets are available to purchase until May 10th. Eisenhower Blood Drive is taking place this Wednesday, April 10th. Students can help by donating blood, referring others to donate blood, or donating snacks and drinks for the day of. Last week, Ike Care Club and Milwaukee Street Angels collaborated together to make bagged lunches for the homeless in Milwaukee. Baseball, girls soccer, boys tennis, and boys golf have started their spring seasons. Super excited to cheer them on. Awards were given out to outstanding basketball players, both for girls and boys in their winter season. Congrats to Mary Kowitz on first team all-conference and scholar athlete. Congrats to Megan McDowell on second team all-conference, and Autumn Tevz and Elena Sidlars with honorable mention. On the boys' side, congrats to Ari Namani on first team all-conference, Daniel Wu with honorable mention and scholar athlete, and finally Jake Veely with honorable mention. Congrats to all of our recognized basketball players. Finally, middle school track signups were last week. It is a great chance for middle school students to participate in an extracurricular activity. Thank you.
Those are our updates.
And the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which includes the notice, the approval of minutes of the board meeting on March 11th, and the engineering machine design contest championship field trip application. Are there any items that should be pulled out for separate consideration? Then do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Mr. Seidel to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion?
I want to wish a good luck to the Rube Goldberg team. They took first place at the Discovery World a couple of weeks ago, and they're going to compete in Minnesota, which is what the design contest, the field application is for. So good luck to them.
Yes, good luck. Anything else? All right, then all those in favor, raise your right hand. This motion passes. On to our regular agenda. We have discuss approve the Outdoor Facilities Task Force resolution.
So I'd like to start off by just giving a general background of how we got here. We actually had a budget balancing task force about 6 years ago that had provided, and that was a task force that included board members, community members, that included parents, some non-parents, and others. And I believe the group was about 12 to 16 individuals. And they provided feedback to the school board on what they felt were ways that we could do things that would not impact the taxpayers, but being resourceful and finding ways to drive revenue up on behalf of the school district. Many of these things that were recommended have been put in place. So the school board actually met, discussed the various proposals from this task force, and several of the items from that were put into place. For example, sponsorships or naming rights was one thing that task force had recommended to the school board. We've put that into place, and we've now actually done quite well as far as developing those naming rights opportunities in the district. Another one was utilization of our facilities and maximizing our facilities. We are certainly doing that to the point where we almost don't have enough people to hire to be able to work on the weekends, that we're really maximizing those things. So one of the things that we're looking at, though, based on that prior success in these different areas, is we're looking to parlay the investments that the school district is making in our outdoors facilities projects based on our long-range plan. So, for example, the board has approved a long-range plan that's actually fully funded. And a couple of those items include the resurfacing and rebuilding of our tracks at both Ike and West. And so as we've been talking to community members along the way, and as we, again, look to make this investment, we're looking at, could we find a way to maximize the potential fundraising opportunities like several other school districts do, to do things like, so for example, if you're redoing a track, that would be the best time if you're looking at turfing a field, that would be the time to do it. You don't retrofit some sort of artificial surfaces after, or typically you don't want to be able to do that. Again, we've got the dollars allocated for future budgets in those track allocations. And so now it's just a matter of working with the task force of finding, first of all, what is the appetite for something like this? We've heard from several people that they're interested, but are we really interested? How can we maximize and leverage, for example, what makes it challenging in our school district is we have two different high schools. So does that mean that does fair always mean equal? Like, do we really need both services if we're going to go with some sort of athletic artificial surface? You need one at both campuses, or is it just one? Or, for example, we had a meeting with Ken Herunda from the city, and maybe we partner with the city on a centrally located, like Diamond, like Malone Park, that's already lit. And they're already tossing some investments there. Could we have some sort of partnership with the city? And so, at the end of the day, we want to explore these different options. We want to get community members involved. One of our goals, well, two of our goals is one, being fiscally responsible. We think that by trying to drive revenue from alternate resources would be good. And then secondarily, developing mutually beneficial partnerships where we can get folks to fundraise like they've done in other school districts around us to, again, maximize our opportunities for our future outdoor facilities. So that's really the purpose of what we want to do, is start this task force. Based on our board policies, we can't move forward with a task force until we get the blessing from the school board. And further clarify to make sure that this is something the school board actually wants us to move forward with. We think it would be a good idea in the vein of what we've been trying to do is raise dollars through non-taxable sources. And quite honestly, until we land a couple of really big donors, we're really not going to be able to move forward with much until we do so. Again, we came across a situation where we were able to, again, with our outdoor facilities project over at New Berlin West right now, we were able to expand that opportunity because of a private donation that, again, we worked together. We had a plan in place to have plumbed indoor restrooms at West, and we got a donation to enhance that project, and it's underway, and it's we're hoping that project will go and be done by August 15th. It's just a matter of kind of expanding that work and trying to figure out what is it that we really want as a school community, and then we would bring information back to the board to determine these are the recommendations, what are your thoughts, and we can move forward with all, none, or everything in between.
How are,
Oh, wait, we
okay.
need to have a motion to open it up to us to,
I move to approve the outdoor facility task force resolution.
I'll second for discussion.
I have a motion by Ms. Crosby and a second by Mr. Seidel. The motion is to open it up for discussion of the Outdoor Facilities Task Force resolution.
So how would you select members for the task force?
I'll have Dave Cody come up, who's been championing a lot of our work with sponsorships and the like, and Dave can talk about what we have in mind, but certainly open to suggestions from the school board.
Yes, that's a great question, Amy. So over the last several months, myself and the athletic directors have started to compile a list of individuals who have expressed an interest in this type of project, individuals that have student athletes right now at Eisenhower and West, individuals that have student athletes or future student athletes, so they're at Elmwood or they're at Poplar Creek, they're at the elementary schools. The list also includes coaches, former coaches, other community members, business owners. So we put together just a list of anyone who's really expressed an interest in this type of project to us over the last several years. We've put them on a list. We're going to end up if you guys approve the task force, if you move forward with it, we're going to invite them. That's not saying that they're all going to want to participate, but right now I think we're up to about, I want to say it's 30, 35 individuals who we have a pretty good list of, and it's a pretty good cross-section of the community. Again, it's a lot of our previous individuals who have already donated or have been involved in some of the naming rights ventures that we've done. They're on our list too, so that's kind of what we've done so far. Again, it was myself, Jordan, when he was the athletic director, Cody and Kevin Fitzgerald, and then anybody else who's popped up. I know Renee gave me a suggestion last time we talked about this, so it's really a big cross-section of individuals right now.
If there's someone watching right now that wants to be part of the task force, should they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Yeah. And, one of the things that we've talked about is that we're going to, we have our initial list of invites that we'd like to have involved. And we're hoping that those individuals also have other individuals that they know that we're not aware of that would be very interested in being a part of this. And again, other individuals who, once they start learning about the task force and and have some interest, you know, the more that are interested, they're going to be welcome to join and attend the meetings and give their feedback and express their interest in, you know, helping out with fundraising or whatever that may be.
So I just have one question. Now, under charge, it says to explore funding mechanisms. Are we saying that they're going to explore the funding mechanisms, or do we have mechanisms in place as it stands right now? I see naming rights as a.
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. I mean, we have some of those mechanisms in place. We have naming rights. We do have Fund 41 that has some of those dollars allocated for, like Joe mentioned, the track. I think maybe one of the stadiums down the line is, you know, 5-6 years down the line might be part of that, the outdoor or the long-range facilities plan. And then, and again, if there's other ideas that they have, you know, if a capital campaign is something that they think we need to, as a district, undertake, then that'd be where we'd go next. That's part of the idea, is to get people that have a lot of different ideas in ways that we can raise funds, again, without going to the taxpayer. We want them to bring those ideas to the table and see which ones work for our district and what we can do.
Can you elaborate real quick? Can you elaborate on capital campaign?
Sure. A capital campaign is simply a campaign you're trying to raise funds for a capital project. So in this case, we would be if we were trying to raise funds for an outdoor facilities project, say turf or new tracks, and the outline of that is all through donations, fundraising, naming rights. So it's all dollars that are brought to the table through other means, again, outside of taxpayer dollars.
What's the time frame for this commitment, and how long do you think you'll have this task force?
Yeah, so right now, the preliminary outline, we have about 4 meetings that we would try to schedule out, starting as soon as, possibly as late as this month, maybe May, depending on the timing. And again, if you guys approve it this week, we have our list ready to go, so we could start contacting people as early as this week. It may not be till May till we get that first meeting. And then it really, the meetings are gonna kind of evolve as we learn more from that task force. I mean, the idea is really threefold. We want to educate the individuals on some of the plans that we have already undertaken and looked at and investigated. We also need to get their feedback and see, you know, some of the ideas that we may have might not be the ideas that the coaches have or that the community has. And then third, trying to get that fundraising piece going. So we're really thinking it's going to be about 4 meetings over the course of between now and maybe next fall. It could be more, it could be less. It kind of depends on, you know, Joe used the word appetite. If we invite 30 people and 2 want to be a part of the task force, we may not be moving forward with this. So we need individuals that want to be interested and want to participate.
So was that dave.cody@nbexcellence.org, or is it david.cody?
It's a great question. It is david.cody, C-O-T-E-Y, at nbexcellence.org.
For all you listening out there.
Yeah. Or Joe, that's fine.
Is there anything else? Okay.
I just want to say, I was on the budget task force. Ron was on it as well. I think it was a very good way to bring in voices from the community into what we do here in the school district. So I'm very supportive of this task force.
I do have some questions actually for fellow board members, because as I read this, I noticed that there's not really any board representation on this task force, even though it's supposed to be a board, like sanctioned task force. So I'm wondering, is anybody on the board here believe that there should be at least one board member part of the task force? Maybe a facility committee person.
I nominate Jeff Kurth.
I do, but we're reorganizing in a meeting.
True.
Which would potentially change that.
Well, there's only one person who's not going to be here. I mean, I'm curious about the rest of you, though.
Yeah.
Because there's still a majority of us.
I think for the budget task force, it was very beneficial to have somebody from the board on it. So I do think there's a benefit. I guess I would open it up to see if anybody's interested in doing it, although I'd feel comfortable with David or, somebody else representing the district in that.
Because we don't have to vote on this tonight. I mean, if any of the wording needs to be redone, it would be for the next meeting where we would have, well, we might have the reorganization by then for the committees. If it's like a facility, if we're saying that we want a facility committee person on it at that point. So I guess I'm not getting a whole lot of feedback saying that, yeah, we really want a board member on it. So it's a no.
I mean, I would recommend it.
Yeah, our intent was to have at least.
Oh,
one board
because it
member.
wasn't
At least
written in
one,
it, so that's why I was asking. I
Yeah.
didn't see membership, anybody from the board listed as a member. So.
And if I recall, Amy, we actually had you and Susan, two board members on that budget balancing task force group.
And again, we don't think it's going to be an extensive commitment. It's not going to be a years-long thing. It might be a little heavy lifting early on as far as reaching out to your network and finding other people that may be interested. But yeah, we would welcome at least 2 members. And you're all welcome to attend, even if you're not a part of the committee. You would be obviously welcome to attend any of the meetings just to sit in or provide some feedback.
And then I just noticed that there seemed to be a little bit of a conflict, like in the paragraph for recommendation, it mentions that the task force was going to be making a recommendation to the superintendent. And then in dissolution, it mentions making a recommendation to the board. So I was like, are there 2 separate recommendations, first to the superintendent and then eventually to the board?
I'm not sure. I'll have
Yeah, I think what we would, I think the intent is everything will be delivered to me and I would present it to the board.
Okay. I have a suggestion. You're mentioning that there's 4 meetings, and typically after committee meetings, there's supposed to be reports to the board. I would suggest, I don't know how others feel, but a brief report to the board after each of those meetings, maybe.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, actually, there are additional parameters, and I apologize that I didn't include them. We actually had set parameters for the budget balancing task force. For example, A, it's a public meeting and it's posted. B, while it's open to the public, the members that are on the task force will be allowed to the discussion. All others can provide like written comments, questions, or concerns. So I can forward that to you based on the guidelines that we had set for the budget balancing task force. That would include reports back to the board as needed. And so what we would do is actually we would keep minutes of the meeting and we would share those minutes with the board.
Yeah, and any presentations that we would put together, we would obviously share with you guys too.
If no one else volunteers, I would volunteer to be a part of it if I'm on the facilities committee.
All right, so does this need to be updated officially in some sort of resolution format for us to officially vote on and sign, or is this meant to be like, because there's also not a date for it says no later than, and it's sort of open-ended.
We weren't sure what type of questions the board would have.
Okay.
So we're good bringing back a more formalized resolution. I guess, since we're not taking a vote, is anybody adamantly opposed to this? Just so that we can get things working behind the scenes so that once, if the board approves at the next meeting, that we're actually send like that following Tuesday.
Could we also get a list of the not maybe necessarily the names you have now, but like, is it a parent, is it a donor? Just curious what that makeup is of that list.
Sure. And quite honestly, if you have additional suggestions, please let us know.
Okay, I made this motion sloppy because I think I just left it as to discuss, and we actually never voted to discuss, so.
I don't believe there's any
Yeah,
action.
there's really not
At
any
this
action
point.
tonight then.
Needed.
Okay, then, based on our discussion, bring back a more formalized resolution for the next meeting to vote on?
We'll provide the guidelines as well, and then we'll also provide the list that Mitch has asked for. Anything else that the board would like in advance? And again, if anybody else would be interested other than just Renee, I think if we had a couple people on it, it would be great.
Oh, so like, amend the motion to postpone, well, but it was,
I'm not
it was
sure
a
that-
motion, it was a motion to discuss.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you need it.
All we could say is, all those in favor say aye.
For discussion.
Yeah,
For discussion.
For
Yep,
discussion, so then maybe we're good.
Yep.
You did caveat it.
I think we are.
okay. We didn't need everybody to vote yes? We agree with the motion to discuss?
Discuss?
I think so. I mean, I think technically.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
We discussed it.
yeah. All right, thank you. Then we have a couple of items from closed session.
I move to approve the employment, performance, and compensation matters pertaining to staff.
I have a motion by Ms. Spindler and a second by Mr. Kurth to approve. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. And then one more.
I move to approve the transportation agreement recommendation as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Mr. Seidel to approve the transportation agreement recommendation. No?
Nope, I gotta amend that. I'm gonna do it again, sorry.
Yeah?
Yes, a motion to approve transportation agreement recommendation, option 2 as presented.
Oh, option 2. Okay.
Second.
All right, so I still have a motion by Mr. Kurth and the second by Mr. Seidel to approve the transportation agreement recommendation, option 2. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Future meetings and dates. Board meetings are generally held the second and fourth Mondays, beginning at 7 o'clock PM in Conference Room E at District Office, unless noted otherwise. Our next meeting is April 22nd, then we have May 13th and May 28th, which is Tuesday rather than a Monday due to Memorial Day. And other important events to remember is that May 27th is Memorial Day. There is no school. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth, and that's his very last one, and a second by Mr. Seidel to adjourn. All those in favor, raise your right hand. This motion is this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.